Austin Butler has come a long way from playing the cutest boy in school on iCarly. From a shaggy-haired teen heartthrob to the king of rock and roll, Butler is taking Hollywood by storm. Butler was born in Anaheim, California in 1991. His mother, Lori Ann, was an esthetician and his father, David, is a real estate broker. Though his parents divorced when he was 7, Butler's upbringing was by all accounts normal, if perhaps a little solitary. He told GQ, "I didn't really have a passion for anything that included other people at that time. I wouldn't go play sports, I wouldn't do things with other kids." Though he attended elementary school in Orange County, he was homeschooled as a preschooler. Living in Anaheim presented one major hurdle to his pre-K studies, however: Disneyland. He told the Orange County Register back in 2016, "I have vivid memories of my mom saying, 'Instead of doing schoolwork, let's just go to Disneyland.' I have such happy memories of that place." But rather than Mickey Mouse's house, it was a trip to a fair at age 12 that would change Butler's life forever. Butler was visiting the Orange County Fair with his stepbrother when they were approached by a representative for a background acting management company. According to Butler, the scout was initially interested in Butler's stepbrother, who at the time had a mop of unruly hair and a more distinctive look than Austin. Tagging along with his stepbrother to an audition turned out to be a stroke of incredible luck. Butler was cast as a background character on the Nickelodeon sitcom Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide. From there, he went on to appear in over 40 episodes as Zippy Brewster on the show. Butler rarely received any dialogue, but the experience inspired him to pursue acting full-time.
I realized I wanted to be an actor when I was about 11 or 12.
Over time, Butler appeared in more prominent roles on shows like iCarly, Zoey 101, and Hannah Montana. As it happens, he played a stock character known as the cutest boy in school on all 3 shows. Butler booked his first feature film role in 2009's Aliens in the Attic. Part home invasion thriller, part kid-friendly creature feature, the film is about a teenage brother and sister who discover that their Michigan vacation home has been infiltrated by aliens. Butler co-stars as the siblings' meathead cousin who gets roped into saving the world. However, the film wasn't a very good showcase for anyone involved and was panned by critics and audiences alike. As Butler entered his 20s, he continued booking television roles, earning regular spots on the teen dramas Life Unexpected and Switched at Birth. He also played an obnoxious surfer with distractingly white teeth in 2 2010 episodes of the Jonas Brothers Disney Channel series Jonas. In 2013, Butler booked his highest-profile gig yet as Sebastian Kidd, the on- and off-again boyfriend of young Carrie Bradshaw in the CW's The Carrie Diaries, a prequel to Sex and the City. However, that series was canceled after its 2nd season. In 2015, Butler was seen opposite former iCarly star Miranda Cosgrove in the haunted house thriller The Intruders. Over the next few years, he appeared in 2 poorly received films, Yoga Hosers and The Dead Don't Die. Neither role would turn out to be life-changing, but a Eugene O'Neill Broadway show starring Denzel Washington, that's a different story. In 2018, Butler was cast in The Iceman Cometh, O'Neill's epic 1946 play about drunks and desperation. Directed by George C. Wolfe and starring Washington and many more veterans of stage and screen, the revival was a huge opportunity for Butler. In an interview with GQ in May 2022, the actor revealed that he memorized the entire script and always showed up to rehearsals early. Eventually, Washington took notice and mentored Butler during the production. Butler recalled, "He'd start telling me thoughts about the scene, and suddenly I've got Denzel almost as an acting coach." Butler landed one of the main roles in the Shannara Chronicles, a forgotten fantasy series from 2016. It was one of Butler's first major leading man roles that didn't involve a high school setting. Butler played Will Ohmsford, a half-human, half-elf farm boy who discovers that he is destined for greater things.
How did this guy ever save the world?
Butler and his young castmates were praised by critics for their work on the series, which is based on the novels by Terry Brooks. Sadly, Shannara was canceled after 2 seasons. However, that couldn't stop Butler's rise. While Butler was in performances of The Iceman Cometh in New York, he was asked to submit an audition tape to Quentin Tarantino for his upcoming film. Butler jumped at the chance to work with one of his heroes. Soon after he sent in his self-tape, Tarantino asked him to do a live audition, so Butler flew to Los Angeles on his day off and spent the day workshopping with the acclaimed director. He then returned to New York less than 24 hours later, having landed the role. The film was Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, an alternate history that explores the murder of Sharon Tate at the hands of the Manson family. Butler was cast as Charles Tex Watson, one of the many real-life figures portrayed in the film. He was a follower of Charles Manson who was convicted of the murder of Tate and her house guests. In Tarantino's film, Watson and his accomplices make an unplanned stop at the home of Tate's next-door neighbor, Rick Dalton. There, they are confronted by Dalton and his former stuntman and driver, Cliff Booth.
You are real, right?
I'm as real as a donut, motherfucker.
When asked on the red carpet how he coped with playing such a dark figure, Butler told Variety that the monstrous nature of the role was tempered by the dream come true of working with Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, and Tarantino. On July 15, 2019, it was announced that Butler had landed the title role in Baz Luhrmann's biopic of Elvis. In a rarity for actors playing the king, it was also announced that Butler would be performing his own songs.
You're doing your own singing?
I am.
For longtime fans, however, this was no surprise, as he had been playing guitar and singing as far back as iCarly. When asked by Variety how he was preparing to play one of the most recognizable pop culture figures of all time, Butler simply replied,
It's many hours of hard work.
That hard work took the form of intense preparation and study, as he delved into every facet of the life and influences of the king. Butler also found a tragic personal connection between himself and Presley, as both lost their mother at age 23. Production on the film stretched on for nearly 2 years, due in large part to delays when co-star Tom Hanks contracted COVID-19. Filming finally wrapped in March 2021, and Butler's body gave out the very next day. He spent a week bedridden from a viral infection. For an actor as dedicated as Butler, it was a small price to pay for a movie that wowed critics and audiences alike. Even critics who are allergic to Luhrmann's maximalist style found Butler's performance to be a technical marvel of impersonation. Austin Butler really commits to his roles. The filmmakers and fellow actors he's worked with often make a point of noting just how dedicated he is to his work. Whether it's physical training, script analysis, or vocal work, Butler is in it to win it. Losing it, on the other hand, is a whole other story, at least when it comes to his notoriously hard-to-shake Elvis accent. In early 2023, there were several pieces on the internet that spoke about Butler's lingering accent. Butler even discussed the matter with late-night talk show hosts Stephen Colbert and Graham Norton, revealing that he spent so long learning Elvis's vocal patterns that it took some serious training to unlearn them. The actor told Norton the comments about his accent made him self-conscious.
I thought, am I being phony? Is this not my voice?
Ultimately, as he told Colbert, he needed a dialect coach to get rid of his Elvis voice. It must have been a bittersweet moment, considering all the work he did to get the accent. Speaking to Entertainment Weekly, Butler revealed that he made a sound catalog for the king. He told the outlet, I created my own archive of how he said every word and every diphthong and the way that he used musicality in his voice. There might be no greater measure of an artist's popularity in the modern age than being asked to host SNL. In 2022, Butler hosted the show with Lizzo as a musical guest. His SNL monologue moment caught us totally off guard by managing to do both a goofy Gollum impression and a touching tribute to his mother, who passed away from cancer. In addition to this genuine bit of emotion, Butler also sent up his Elvis persona in several sketches. Perhaps because he started his career on television, Butler seems to move between the big screen and the small screen at a steady clip. In 2024, he made his streaming debut in the series Masters of the Air, and this came about entirely because of his work in Elvis. According to a story Butler recounted on Late Night with Stephen Colbert, Butler and Tom Hanks were having dinner close to the end of the Elvis shoot. Hanks jokingly warned Butler that he'd need to dive right into something different after the film so he wouldn't lose his mind. From there, Hanks pitched him Masters of the Air. The Apple TV Plus show is a World War II epic that follows the 100th bomb group during the war. Even though Apple TV Plus is notorious for not doing much to market its shows, Butler's turn as Major Gail Buck Cleaven won praise from critics and further cemented him as one of Hollywood's top young talents. Austin Butler is clearly a talented character actor blessed with leading man looks. This, combined with his total commitment to whatever role he lands, is what makes him such a sought-after star in Tinseltown. Whether he's playing supporting roles or leading ones, he gives absolutely everything for the project. In 2023, the actor played Benny in The Bikeriders, a fictionalized account of a very real 1960s Chicago motorcycle gang. Butler is the heart and soul of the ensemble crime thriller. He also leans into a new brooding energy in the role, and critics were wholly convinced by his turn as Benny. Deadline said in its review, coming off his Oscar-nominated Elvis, Butler fits comfortably into a James Dean-style rebel whose cause seems to be surviving one violent encounter after another. Butler's biggest role to date is probably a tie between Elvis and Fade Rotha Harkonnen, a bald sci-fi baddie who killed his own mother. Butler joined the ensemble cast of Denis Villeneuve's box office smash Dune Part 2. Fade Rotha is ruthless, cannibalistic, and not afraid to kiss his overlord uncle, Baron Harkonnen, played by Stellan Skarsgård. Skarsgård even told Variety about his co-star, he really enjoyed being evil. Butler's commitment to the part also impressed Villeneuve. He told Empire, Austin brought something that is a cross between a psychopath killer, an Olympic swordmaster, a snake, and Mick Jagger.
You don't get to play characters like this every day.
In an interview with the Los Angeles Times, Butler revealed that he set some boundaries in terms of his commitment levels this time around. He told the outlet, I've definitely in the past with Elvis explored living within that world for 3 years, and that being the only thing that I think about day and night. I knew that I wasn't going to do anything dangerous outside of that boundary, and in a way that allowed me to go deeper.